So, you know, I'm just a guy that, you know, has been lucky in the world to be able to do some things I love to do, and that's to work with others. And I've chosen over the years to work with others who are less fortunate than many of us. And I've always found that if I can find ways to give it away, I can keep it. And that's what I did. And I got more involved after my own personal life-changing event back in the 80s, where I had some issues and I needed some help. And I learned how to put my hand up and say, I'm Scott, I need some help, will you help me? And probably all of you, when you think about it, you have somebody in your family that something's happened to at some point that, you know, just wasn't something you planned for, because nobody sits down and designs a family and says, well, this one's going to have this and this one's going to have that, and we're going to have that trauma. We can't wait to get that knucklehead into jail, because we know once we go through the court system, our lives will be full. So I started volunteering once I got into sobriety, and I enjoyed the work. And I learned early on that if I keep my mouth shut and I put my nose to the grinder, I learned that from my family. But I did it in volunteerism as well, like I'm sure many of you do if you belong to a group like this. You've spent many hours, days, weeks, and years in your life doing volunteer work. So from that, what I did one day is I was serving breakfast at St. Vincent de Paul on Sunday morning. And I saw the same people every single week. And I started to ask the question, why are you here? Well, I can't get a job. Well, why not? Well, look at me. I said, well, let's do that. Let's just go in the bathroom and we'll stand next. Let's look at you. What do you see? Well, I said, let me tell you what I see. I see somebody who needs a haircut. Somebody needs to take that stuff off your face. I don't know what you want to call it, a mustache, a beard, just growth. And someone who's got some tattoos that we can camouflage. It's not that hard to change someone's outside appearance. It's the inside job that takes a lot more work. It's the inside job that takes a lot more work. So I started coaching this guy, and I said, look, are you willing to do whatever it takes to change? And he said, well, I don't know what that means, and why wouldn't somebody hire me for who I am? I said, again, let's go back to the mirror. Okay, I get the point. So he got the point, and I tried to teach others through examples and with what I call reflective thinking. Because, you know, who am I to tell you what to do with your life? But if I can show you something, if you're saying to me, and generally when I meet people, they're frustrated, or they've got their back up against the wall, or they're facing a traumatic situation with their family, and they don't know what to do. And a lot of times, people don't put their hand up and say, hey, I need help, will you help me? It's usually with crisis, life-changing events that kind of brings things to a head, and then something's got to be intervened on. So I started working with people every single Sunday after my 5 hours of volunteerism. And the bottom line is, I kept seeing the same core issues. People's roadblocks were coming up. They were glaring. They were popping up every time I talked to somebody. No one will hire me because, they won't hire me because, I can't get a job because. I said, well, are those excuses or are those barriers? And then I would just shut up when I asked the question. And you know, it's interesting, when you give people an opportunity to use their own mind, how freeing it is for them.